Welcome to the Moose's LZ Bar and Grill Weekend Wrap, where we highlight a few of the storylines that occurred in sprint car racing over the weekend. Before we get to those storylines, don't forget to check out Moose's LZ Bar and Grill for great food at a great price. You won't regret it. 20 wins, the most in the country. A Tuscarora 50 title, more than $320,000 in earnings. Yeah, it's been a pretty good year for Anthony Macri. It got even better over the weekend on Saturday night when, with his third different crew chief this season, he captured his first Tuscarora 50 title by storming from 19th to 1st in 41 laps and pulling away to the victory at the end. A year ago, Macri had 11 wins, and I said at the time that it's one thing to get past double digits, to break through that barrier and get to that lofty plateau in this sport, but it's even more difficult to back it up. Macri's done that and more, despite having shots taken at him in social media and different guys, albeit guys like Jim Shuttlesworth, Bernie Stubjen, and Ryan Hand turning the wrenches. It's been a whirlwind season, and really, it's the type of season that would be a career for most drivers in this sport, which makes Macri's efforts one of the top storylines in sprint car racing this season, not only in central Pennsylvania, but across the whole country. Considering he's only 23 years old, it should be interesting to see how far Macri can climb the dirt track racing ladder and how much he can succeed in the coming years. It's hard not to root for a guy like Jacob Allen, even for a media guy like me who's supposed to be unbiased. There has been plenty of downtimes in the 9 years that Jacob Allen has spent with the World of Outlaws, but he's kept plugging away and getting better each passing year. On Saturday, Allen scored the biggest win of his career when he topped teammate Logan Schuchart by a mere 0.05 of a second at Silver Dollar Speedway to bag the $26,000 Gold Cup Race of Champions. It was his fifth win of the season and put him above $200,000 in earnings so far. There's something about being likable, and Allen certainly checks that box with fans and really other drivers even. He's paid his dues. He's continued to grind and improve, and he gives one of the best and most genuine speeches, albeit in Victory Lane or at the World of Outlaw banquet. Allen's performance is starting to meet that personality, which is making him a fan favorite. He's cut his sprint car teeth on the road against the best, and at 28 years old, he could develop into a weekly contender for years to come, especially if he improves on that consistency, which has been lacking at times. Still, he's a guy you have to watch now. He's a serious contender for wins, and I think with a little bit of time, it's something that could be a weekly occurrence with the series. On a somber note, SprintCarUnlimited.com broke the news on Saturday that the management team, consisting of Mike Hefner, Todd Benner, Brian Scandal, Steve Inch, and a couple of others, have decided to terminate their lease at Selinsgrove Speedway effective at the end of the season. The group will, however, still be in place for the two-day Jim Nace Memorial National Open, which will consist of a $26,000 payday to the winner in 2 weeks. Of course, as I said, this news got people talking and a little bit concerned as it circulated around the Tuscarora 50 at Port Royal Speedway, especially after the recent news that Grandview Speedway was in the process of being sold to Copart after being in business over 60 years. According to officials at the Fair Board at Selinsgrove, the Speedway isn't going anywhere and that they're going through the process of bringing in a new promoter for the 2023 season, which should ease people's concerns. So for now, it looks like the crisis has been averted. So head out to the track in 2 weeks to support the last race of the season and the current management group, one that has been in place for 7 years and basically helped turn the Speedway around. That's going to wrap up this edition of the Moose's LZ Bar and Grill Weekend Wrap. For more coverage of sprint car racing across the country, check out SprintCarUnlimited.com. A yearly subscription is only $35, which includes results, features, a weekly podcast, and much more. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Moose's LZ Bar and Grill Weekend Wrap.